Peppa Pig, the new friend. One rainy day, Peppa was sitting at home feeling bored. All her friends were busy and she had no one to play with. "Why don't you find something new to do?" Mummy Pig suggested, handing Peppa an old box of toys she had found in the attic. Peppa opened the box and discovered a strange doll. It was dusty, with worn-out clothes and a slightly cracked face, but its eyes looked almost real. "What an unusual doll," Peppa said, picking it up. From that moment, strange things began to happen. Later that evening, Peppa was playing with her new doll, which she had named Betsy. She told it stories just as she would with her friends. "You're my best friend," Peppa said with a smile. But when she put the doll down on the floor, she noticed that its head had turned as if it were looking straight at her. "It's just the wind," Peppa muttered, even though the windows were closed. The next day, Peppa wanted to take Betsy on a walk, but when Mummy Pig and Daddy Pig saw the doll, they reacted strangely. "Where did you find that?" Daddy Pig asked, his voice trembling. "In the box from the attic," Peppa replied. Mummy and Daddy exchanged nervous glances but said nothing more. During the walk, Betsy accidentally fell into the mud. Peppa tried to pick her up, but the doll felt heavier than before. When she lifted it, she noticed that the mud on the doll seemed to move, almost alive. "You're so weird," Peppa said, but still brought the doll back home. That night, Peppa heard whispering. "Peppa, come to me." She woke up and saw that Betsy was sitting right by her bed, even though Peppa was sure she had left the doll in another room. "This is just a dream. Just a dream," Peppa said, pulling the blanket over her head. But then she heard something whisper directly into her ear. "I'm always here." Peppa decided to tell her parents, but when she showed them the doll, Mummy and Daddy Pig suddenly said they couldn't see anything. "Peppa, you must be imagining things." "There's nothing there," Daddy Pig said. "But she's right here. Don't you see her?" Peppa cried. Each day, the doll grew stranger. Peppa could feel Betsy watching her, even when she wasn't looking. Toys in the room began moving on their own, and one day Peppa found a message written on the mirror. "We're best friends. Forever." Final scene. The final shot shows Peppa sitting in her room with Betsy. Her eyes are empty, and a wide, unnatural smile is frozen on her face. Behind her, the shadow of the doll looms large and distorted on the wall. A whisper echoes in the background. "Now you're mine forever."